certain way, and it ended up somewhere else. In one of the worst entire world war, an attempted genocide, almost successful genocide of an ethnic group, multiple ethnic groups. You guys know how bad Hitler was. I don't have to tell you. Well, apparently, actually, I do. There are some sick people out there. But I already kind of did an episode on that in my episode where I talked about top 5 idiot moments of the year, which was actually 4 because I forgot the 5th one. That all being said, again, what is the common theme of this episode? It's almost like I should title it this. Human beings are smarter, more empathetic, more compassionate, better at critical thinking, more independently, or dare I say, Xendependently minded than the powers that be give them credit for. So, to kind of end this on a positive note, last thing I wanted to talk about, as promised, RFK Jr. and the FDA. So, in a long line of, decisions that are coming slowly, instead of it being a shotgun blast and then you fill the holes with gum or whatever, a lot of people have felt that way about certain moves that the Trump administration has been carrying out. RFK Jr. and the FDA have announced that they are going to be removing soda from food stamps in the next move to cleanse benefits for the people who need them. Because, of course, you shouldn't get rid of benefits. You shouldn't get rid of assistance for people that need it. There's always going to be people who need help, who cannot help themselves, and they 100% should get help. That being said, again, like everything with humans, things to do with humans, it's complex. You should always look to improve, no matter what. There's never a time to not look to improve and innovate. Human beings understand this inherently. It's a subconscious thing. You always want to improve. We understood this because in the very beginning, we were simple. We didn't have language, but we needed a way to communicate. So we figured out how to develop language and then tools. You get what I'm saying. So RFK Jr. and the FDA removing soda from food stamps is great because those who receive benefits, assistance, so those who receive food stamps, they should be getting the highest quality possible assistance. It's unfair for people who are on welfare, who use food stamps to provide for themselves and their family. It is unfair for those who are not taking advantage of it to have to be using the food that we have already identified, that RFK Jr. has already identified, that a lot of people have already identified is bad. It is killing us. It's causing cancer, diabetes, heart disease, atherosclerosis, arteriosclerosis, things that are bad, right? Detrimental illnesses, diseases, they're complex. Sometimes it's genetic, sometimes it's environmental factors. For a lot of these things, RFK Jr., the thing that people had kind of had the quote-unquote conspiracy theory about. By the way, the term conspiracy theory was created by the powers that be after the JFK assassination because they needed a term to discredit people who questioned the establishment narrative. Anyway, this is a great move. This is exactly what I voted for. This is exactly what I supported RFK Jr. for, that and many other things. But it's not fair to people who need assistance to be getting lower quality assistance. And this is not the first thing that he's had removed. He generalized in a statement saying, we're going to remove unhealthy foods from food stamps because it's just not fair. And of course, the media misrepresents him and says, oh my gosh, RFK Jr., the disgraced Kennedy, his parents, his uncle, the 2 people that he was alive for got assassinated. This is how disgusting the media is. They'll look at the complicated nature of families, especially a family that's been as popular and as famous. You know, there are so many famous and important families in American history. The Kennedys are one of them. But the media will come out and they'll attack him. Rather than addressing his statement, rather than sharing in full context the entire quote or speech that he says, rather than linking to a full speech so people can look into it themselves, the media goes, oh, look at this. RFK Jr., the FDA, MAGA, and Trump, they hate people on welfare. They're trying to remove welfare. They're trying to kill everybody on welfare. And that's why nobody pays attention to the legacy slur media anymore, because that's not true. It's like, really? So half of the American people who voted, half of the voting base that voted for Trump, want people on welfare to die? What about the people that are on welfare that use food stamps that voted for Trump? How retarded are you? Anyway, RFK Jr. explains, just like what I just said, people are smarter than the establishment gives them credit for. It's not fair for people who need the benefits to not be getting the highest quality aid. And that goes for anybody who needs assistance. The same goes for the VA. The same goes for other, welfare aspects of the welfare system in the United States. It needs to be improved, doesn't need to be dismantled and blown up. It needs to be improved. And this is one of many steps that I fully support. RFK Jr. gets my full support in this, and I'm glad that he's doing this. And I hope that before he's done, before his appointment is over, I hope that he continues to do things like this and make deals like with Coca-Cola. Trump claims that Coca-Cola made a deal with the United States to where they're going to start making the American Coca-Cola that they sell to Americans. It's going to be made with pure cane sugar, like Mexican Coke, like European Coke. That stuff tastes way better. If you've ever had, and I am a huge Coca-Cola fan, I promise you that if you give me an American Coke and then you give me a Mexican or European Coke, one that's made with pure cane sugar, I can tell you blindfolded which is which. Anybody who's had one or the other, people have their preferences, but you can tell the difference.